So how do you even decide what kind of adoption that you're going to do as far as domestic, infant adoption, foster care, international? What was that decision-making process like for you guys?
I think that when you first start out, it seems very overwhelming because there are so many avenues to take. My husband and I actually did start with international adoption, and we tried that for about 6 months, and it just wasn't clicking for us. It was really expensive, and we weren't sure which country to go through, and it just seemed a little bit like we were in over our heads, especially where we were just starting out with adoption and had no exposure to it really previously. And that led us to domestic adoption instead. And specifically with an agency, I think at that point we really needed a little bit of hand-holding and a way to learn, and that felt a little bit safer to be with an agency that could do that for us.
For me, same thing, was a little bit overwhelmed with trying to go international. I had talked to friends who had gone domestic or international, and a friend who had just adopted through an agency, and the process seemed to go quite smooth and felt comfortable. And then also I had worked, I taught preschool for a little while, and I had worked with a lot of kids in foster care, and I wanted to bring all of them home. But my husband and I, in finding what we were comfortable with, just felt comfortable with domestic adoption.
I think what I hear a lot is just people feel drawn to a certain type of adoption. They feel comfort, like you guys said, it didn't feel right. This didn't feel right, or this didn't feel right, and then this did feel right. I think a lot of it is your child is somewhere, and you're going to find them through that avenue, and you just got to find that avenue somehow, and that you'll feel it in your gut oftentimes. Just this is the direction I need to go to.
And it's interesting you'd say that, because I have had many people through the years say that to me, that they have felt drawn towards a particular type of adoption. Mm-hmm. I had a lady just the other day tell me for quite a bit of time, tell me the process she went through to come from an international perspective to a domestic state type of adoption. It was interesting to hear that over the years. And so when you bring that up, it's kind of clicking for me to think that, I think a lot of people are drawn is the key word.
Yeah, just sucks you in somehow, somewhere, and then you just start to feel comfortable, and then you move. Then you're able to move forward.
Mm-hmm. I think getting information about the different options, and I'd call places and say, okay, am I comfortable with that? Or, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I am ready for this. That made it a little bit.
Yeah, educating yourself is a big part of it.
It's vital. I think that's where the biggest mistakes are made, is just out of that you don't know that you're making the mistake, because it is very overwhelming when there are so many options. So education, it really is vital to talk to every different facet, to find people in every different facet, so that you can really be at peace with the decision and the way that you can go forward.
I know as a caseworker, and I'm sure this is the same for you as an attorney, that you're more than willing to kind of walk people through the process of this is what it's going to be like, and give them information so that they can make a informed decision.
I think I had like 3 different packets from 3 different agencies, just reading through, okay, what's this one going to be like? What's this one going to be like? And what can I expect?
And I think that's important to do. I think that our desire to have something quick needs to be resisted, and I think we need to really do the research. And I've often counseled clients to, bring the different contracts to me. Let me see those before you start and actually sign up with an agency, and so that you know what you're getting yourself into. Mm-hmm. There isn't this kind of a catch, if you will, at the end. And the catch is usually because you weren't doing enough research or doing enough reading or reading through a contract quickly. Does that make sense?
We were talking about that this morning. Yeah. You should actually read a lot of this material, the contracts and things like that.
You mean once I'm comfortable, I can't just sign it?
Yeah. Or just to be done.
I think you nailed it, though, with the sense of urgency that a lot of adoptive families feel to fill that void. You decide you want a child, and when it doesn't come easily, you start to get that little panic of like, why isn't this happening? Okay, we'll do adoption. Well, you just want your children to come home. And that underlying sense of urgency sometimes does create a place where you don't maybe make the most educated choices. You just want the quickest choice.
Emotional choice.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just going to kick against the bricks because nothing is really fast.
Yeah.
If it is, it's a miracle. And so you just kind of have to sit back and go with the flow, and that's hard to do, but it really...
I wasn't very good at that.
Yeah.
Once I decided this is the agency we're going with, I was like, okay, how fast can we get this done?
Well, I don't know that there's something wrong with that.
I'm going to do all my stuff and these are my deadlines.
Hurry up and wait.